Welcome, everyone. Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we're unpacking the truly fascinating world of social personality types. We're going to break down the distinct differences between four major ones: introverts, extroverts, ambiverts, and omniverts. And hey, by the end of this explainer, you might just understand yourself and, your friends a whole lot better.
So here's a question as old as time. Why do opposites attract but also drive us absolutely crazy? We've all been there, right? You're sitting around feeling totally bummed out because a friend didn't text back, or maybe they just wanted to stay inside on a Friday night while you were all geared up to hit the town. It perfectly illustrates the very real pain of misunderstood social needs. We tend to naturally attract people who are wired differently from us, but man, those exact differences can cause some serious friction. Now, a lot of this friction actually stems from that classic golden rule: treat others how you want to be treated. It's a staple childhood value, and honestly, on the surface, it sounds absolutely perfect. But when we apply it to different social types, it can cause massive, massive misunderstandings. For instance, if you personally love being surrounded by people, you might throw your friend a surprise party thinking, hey, that's what I would want. But if that friend just really needed to go home at 9:30 p.m. to decompress, you might mistake their early exit as a personal rejection. You're treating them how you want to be treated, but you're totally ignoring how they need to be treated.
All right, so let's move into our first section, looking at the extremes, introverts and extroverts. To really grasp the whole picture, we kind of need to start at the opposite ends of the spectrum. Let's slow things down for a second and talk about the introvert. An introvert is someone who genuinely, deep down, prefers quiet, non-social settings. They thrive on solo activities like getting lost in a good book or meditating, things that engage their mind rather than chaotic environments like a loud, crowded bar. If you're looking for a fantastic resource to understand this type, Susan Cain's book, Quiet, is an absolute game changer. It completely shifts how we view the quiet retreater. And here is the absolutely crucial takeaway for anyone who loves an introvert. When an introvert pulls away or maybe goes radio silent for a bit, highly social friends can sometimes perceive this as toxic or dismissive behavior, like they're being ghosted. But listen, they aren't ignoring you. They are literally recharging their social batteries. Now, for introverts, this means proactive communication is vital. Just a quick text saying, hey, I really need a quiet night in, but I still care about you, can completely save a friendship. On the complete flip side, we have the extrovert. These are your fearless leaders, the outgoing social butterflies who are undeniably the life of the party. You know the type. They'd have zero fear standing on a table commanding a massive crowd. If you're ever too shy to say something, an extrovert is going to march right up and say it for you. They are incredibly fun to be around, but as we're about to see, being in a relationship with one can sometimes be, well, a little exhausting. Comparing the pros and cons, dating an extrovert means there is genuinely never a dull moment, but there's also this almost constant need for crowds. The source author shares a really eye-opening anecdote about this. They were young and in love, but her extroverted partner simply didn't know how to be with just one person. He was constantly bringing other people into their relationship dynamic, and it eventually led to heartbreak and some pretty deep trust issues. When an extrovert's need for constant social stimulation isn't managed with proper boundaries, it can leave their partner feeling incredibly isolated. That brings us to section 2, the middle ground, ambiverts and omniverts. Now, what's really interesting about this is that most of us don't actually fit perfectly into those extreme boxes. First up in the middle ground is the ambivert. An ambivert is someone whose overall baseline behavior rests comfortably right in the middle. They are the true balancers. Think of someone effortlessly holding a quiet novel in one hand and a brightly lit karaoke mic in the other. They love staying in and watching a quiet movie to maintain a healthy, grounded life, but they also genuinely don't mind public speaking or grabbing the mic for a wild night out. Then we have the omnivert. Now, this is fundamentally different from an ambivert. Instead of resting comfortably in the middle, an omnivert fully jumps between the two extremes. It's like rapidly switching from a flashy party outfit straight into cozy pajamas. One day, they are the absolute loudest extrovert in the room, and the very next day, they are entirely introverted, refusing to even leave the house. They don't blend the traits, they fully shift from one end of the spectrum to the exact opposite, depending entirely on the day or the situation. Which leads us to our final section, making our differences work. So we've got these four vastly distinct types of people walking around, trying to be friends, trying to date, trying to work together. How do we stop driving each other crazy? Let's shift gears and look at how we can actually make these differences work without totally draining each other. It really boils down to 3 crucial steps. Step 1, communicate openly. Step 2, set clear boundaries.
And step 3, compromise equally. As the source material makes super clear, if only one person is setting the rules in a relationship, say the extrovert is always dragging the introvert to parties, the dynamic quickly becomes draining and toxic. Compromise looks different for everyone, but it's equally essential whether you're balancing the quiet needs of an introvert or the unpredictable shifting needs of an omnivert. You just have to consider what both people actually want and need.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what that compromise looks like in practice. Let's say you have an extrovert who loves to stay out past 11 p.m. and an introvert who desperately wants to be home by 9:30 p.m. Week 1, the introvert compromises. They go out to dinner and stay out until 11. But the deal is, on week 2, the extrovert compromises, and they wrap up the night early so the introvert can be home safely in their sweatpants by 9:30. It's a structured, respectful balance where both people get their needs met. Ultimately, to make literally any of these personality combinations work, you need these 4 foundations of connection. First, you must have honest intentions right from the start. Second, you need loyalty. Third, there is absolutely no room for manipulation or narcissism. If you can't be honest and fair, you just shouldn't be in the relationship. And finally, you have to actively appreciate your differences. Remember, whether you're dating or just building friendships, establishing a healthy balance is absolutely key.
It is totally possible to build incredibly deep connections with people who are completely different from you, as long as you learn to love them the right way. So, I'll leave you with this to think about. Which of the 4 social types are you? And more importantly, using what we've unpacked today, how will you better love the opposites in your life?